Born from the introspection and philosophical debates of light-side Jedi, the concept of relativism existed for centuries within the Order, primarily returning to prominence among younger generations eager to form their own interpretations of the Force. According to relativists, the dark side did not exist, and what they called the light side was the entirety of the Force. Believing this energy field was the beginning and end of all creation, it must be inherently good, meaning the practitioners of this philosophy could, theoretically, utilize traditionally dark side abilities like Force chokes and Force lightning without becoming corrupted or doing evil. Although relativists did not believe the Force could be of the dark side, they believed a being with ill intent or a cruel personality could use the Force for evil, but that was entirely dependent on the individual and had nothing to do with the Force. Many Jedi, especially in their younger years, toyed with relativist ideas, especially because it gave them license to experiment beyond the limits of Jedi teachings. Thus, masters were keenly aware when these ideas cropped up among the apprentices, making sure to guide them back toward the proper path. According to traditional masters, relativist ideas were easily disproven once a Force user gained sufficient real-world experience, as it was clear certain Force techniques and abilities consistently led individuals, no matter how well-intentioned, to the dark side. Relativists, in turn, claimed mainstream Jedi rejected their ideas because if the dark side did not exist, Jedi were not needed to fight against it. Around 132 BBY, a new wave of relativist thought swept through the Jedi Order, led by the powerful and highly respected padawan Leor Hal. Creating his own version of a relativist philosophy, Hal formed the Potentium movement, stating that understanding and connecting with the Force was a personal journey that should not be affected by training or instruction of any kind. Although Hal did not believe the Force had a dark side, he taught his students to be mindful of themselves, ensuring they adhered to the highest moral standard, thereby preventing any corruption or evil that might taint their use of the Force. Gathering a substantial following among the apprentices, their ideas were harshly rejected by the High Council, which considered them a dangerous Force cult. No longer welcome in the Order, many of Hal's followers left or were pushed out and ended up scattered across the galaxy. Losing his movement, Hal voluntarily abandoned his bright future with the Jedi, so he might embark upon a mission to reform his movement and spread the teachings of the Potentium. Although he was seen as a cautionary tale, even after his departure, the Jedi admired and respected Leor Hal, considering him an idealist who lost his way. Hal, meanwhile, journeyed through space for a time, until settling a planet where around 89 BBY, he recruited followers from among the Faroans and Lengesi species to help establish a Potentium civilization where he served as their magister. Yet soon enough, Leor Hal discovered their home was the sentient world Zonama Sekot, an intelligent planetary being born from a sentient planet of extragalactic origin. Hal became convinced this intelligence was a living representation of the Potentium, and because this was a relatively newly formed consciousness, Zonama Sekot believed his human companion, becoming the population's guardian and a defender of the Force itself. Developing a symbiotic relationship, Hal and Sekot established a great society, funding their effort by turning the planet into an organic factory, allowing them to start the Zonama Sekot Shipbuilders Company, specializing in the construction of hyperdrives and living starships. In addition to funding their civilization, Hal used their profits to purchase state-of-the-art hyperdrives, which his engineers improved and redesigned, so he might turn their world into a planet ship capable of traveling through space. After the death of their beloved founder, his people never again spoke his name in reverence of all his accomplishments. Succeeding his father, Hal's son and heir became Magister, continuing with their plans until the invasion of the extragalactic Yuzon Vong, whose original homeworld in a faraway galaxy was the progenitor parent of Zonama Sekot. Though the Magister lost his life in the attack, the planet was able to defeat the invaders. Yet Sekot once again came under threat from the Republic officer Wilhuff Tarkin in 29 BBY. Realizing the dream of Leor Hal, the planet used its hyperdrives to escape danger, traveling to the unknown regions where it became known as the Rogue Planet. Although Zonama Sekot was a great believer in Hal's teachings, after the Magister's death, the being slowly began to accept he was not the Potentium or Force, as his influence did not extend outside the planet. By 43 ABY, the movement was viewed as misguided and heretical by both the Jedi and Sith orders, but it is interesting to note, no member of the original Potentium was ever known to have fallen to the dark side. Their beliefs, however, may have been adopted and twisted by the Jedi-turned-Sith Vergere, who played a role in training Jacen Solo to become Darth Caedus, Dark Lord of the Sith. A special thanks to all those who contribute to Civilization X, like Dane Battlehammer, Raj the Jar, and SithBen24. If you'd like to help the channel, be sure to give a like, leave a comment, subscribe, and click on the links below, or else go to patreon.com/civilizationx, where you can gain early access to videos, vote on future content, and watch the Patreon-only series, Heroes of Lore and Legend.